Hey everybody, Christopher West, Theology of the Body guy here. Today we're going to be looking at a question I get asked quite often. What do we do with our sexual needs? I'd like to begin with a quote from my personal hero, St. John Paul II. This is from an essay that's in a book collected from his articles and essays called Person and Community. He uses, of course, a very scholarly language here. It's not the way we talk in everyday conversation. But let me share this with you. We're going to unpack it, and it's going to take us right to the heart of the matter. Here we go. He says, the very manner in which we conceive of our sexual desires must be from the start, to the greatest extent possible, freed from purely impulse-oriented, naturalistic presuppositions and shaped personalistically. It means, if we could translate that into everyday language, you're not an animal. These impulse-oriented, naturalistic presuppositions can be summed up in a song that I heard many years ago, maybe you're familiar with it, by a band called the Bloodhound Gang. And that should kind of give away right away where they're coming from. And the lyrics went like this: we ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do it on the Discovery Channel. That is a naturalistic, impulse-oriented presupposition to say we ain't nothing but mammals, let's do it like they do it on the Discovery Channel. Rather, our understanding of sexual desire, John Paul II said, must be shaped personalistically. What does that mean? Person. Person is the word we use to distinguish us from animals. If a girl comes back from a night with a guy and she says, he behaved like an animal, is that a compliment? I remember when I was first reading John Paul II, I was in my early mid-20s, 23, 24 years old. And this was one of the things that struck me the deepest. I had been thinking for so long in this animal kind of instinct way. I had these sexual needs that I had to fulfill. I was of the mind that I needed sexual release on a daily basis, like I needed 3 meals a day. And I either, pardon the pun, I either took things into my own hands or I found my release with the girlfriend I had at the time. And yet that whole approach was eaten away at me. Something was not right, and I knew it because I was in pain. And so was my girlfriend. And I realized that I was not free. I thought I was free because I had tossed off the oppressive shackles of my Catholic upbringing, and I was indulging my sexual needs whenever I wanted to, or whenever I could get my girlfriend to cooperate. If you cannot control your own sexual desires, you will inevitably seek to control others to gratify them. And I became, because I was enslaved to my, quote, sexual needs, I became a real manipulator. I knew how to push my girlfriend's buttons to get what I wanted out of her. And in the end, that was after a 4-year relationship. That's the reason she broke up with me. She was right. She felt that. I did not know how to love her. And I didn't know how to love her because I was enslaved to my, quote, sexual needs. I was living in this impulse-oriented way. I was, animalistic in that sense. We ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do it on the Discovery Channel. The culture talks a huge line about sexual freedom, right? But what does that mean? It means do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, with whomever you want, without ever saying no. Freedom means liberty to indulge your compulsions. Well, that led to slavery in my life. If you can't say no to your compulsions, you're not free, you're enslaved. Is the alcoholic who cannot say no to his next drink, is he liberated because he's indulging in an addiction? Or is he in chains? No, sexual freedom is not the liberty to indulge your compulsions. Sexual freedom is liberation from the compulsion to indulge. Only such a person who is liberated from the compulsion to indulge can become a true gift to another. I'll never forget the first time I really started tasting this freedom. I knew I was free. I was with my soon-to-be wife. We were getting married later that year, and we were on this beautiful mountain ledge here in Pennsylvania looking over a gorgeous river. I was holding her in my arms, and I looked down at her, and I just wanted to love her. I just wanted to tell her how awesome she was. And right then I had a flashback to the way I used to think when I was a professional manipulator and I knew how to push buttons to get what I wanted. And I shuddered. I said, "Wendy, I have no desire to push your buttons." And she looked up at me and said, "Good." And I said, No, you don't understand. I don't want to use you. I don't want to manipulate you. I don't want to try to get something from you. Good. I just want to love you. I said, "Good." I was free. I was tasting a freedom, which was not the liberty to indulge my compulsions at her expense. It was liberation from the compulsion to indulge so I could love her, honor her in her true beauty and goodness. I could fly. Freedom is real. What must we do with our sexual needs? What can we do with our sexual needs? You see, the way we experience sexual desire in a fallen world is inverted. It's aimed at me. We are in need of conversion. We are in need of a reorientation of the way we experience sexual desire, of the way we see and think about the body, of the way we see and think about sexual union. The need we have is not for sexual indulgence. The need we have is for love. And the only way we can experience this transformation from sexual need as indulging my compulsion to sexual freedom as the liberty to love another is by allowing God's love into our sexual desires, to transform, to redirect, to reshape, to reform, to recreate the way we experience our creation as male and female in the image and likeness of God. This is a long journey we are invited to go on. But it is the only journey that corresponds to our deepest needs. Here's your takeaway from this video. You're not an animal. You are not bound by urge. You are invited by love to learn the way of love. What do you do with your sexual need? Open it up to the one who loves you. I know it's going to sound crazy, but you turn it into a prayer. Because prayer, right in the urge, right in the need, right in the, oh my gosh, what do I do with this? It feels like I'm going to explode. Open it up. Lord, why did you make me a man? Why did you make me a woman? Why did you give me all these desires? Lord, I open this up to you. Bring your love into it. Teach me what it means to love. Teach me why you gave me these desires in the first place. This is the path laid out for us. It is the freedom for which Christ has set us free. That is the reward of journeying on that path. Be not afraid. I could go on and on and on. There's so much more to say, and I invite you to continue your journey learning about this theology of the body. Click the link below to learn about our schedule of courses. Click the other link below to learn about becoming a part of our patron community, men and women around the world who are taking this up, learning it, living it, and sharing it with others.